So, how do you get over someone that meant so much to you? I feel like everyone says this, but you just have to give yourself time. I know you're probably like, well, thanks, Kelly. I literally could have Googled that on my own. Well, it's true. Like, time does heal everything as hard as it seems in the moment. Like, you will get through a hard situation, like letting go of someone who was once so important to you. Like, time heals all wounds. I literally sound like a walking motivational Pinterest quote right now, but I know it's annoying. I'm sorry. But I feel like being patient with yourself is key, and understanding that it's going to take some time to get over someone is also very important, and like allowing yourself to feel the pain as a means of getting through it. Like, something that I've learned from my own experiences going through heartbreak is that if you allow yourself to fully feel all of the emotions, like cry, shout, do what you have to do, it won't last forever. And you're able to like really be honest with yourself, because 24 hours will go by and you'll feel like you're in so much pain. But then time goes by and you start to see a small ounce of light and you start to feel a bit better, and you no longer feel like an immense amount of sadness anymore. Like, I've had moments before where like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, I do not feel like this day at all. I feel so sad and I feel so down, and like I hate this feeling. Like, I hate not waking up and feeling excitement for the day. And it just starts your day off in like a really bad way. And what I've noticed is that I just try and be patient with myself. I try and be honest with myself. I try and be kind with myself. And then as the day progresses, I start to feel a little bit better. Like, I don't feel as hectic and sad as I used to feel. And I'm like, hey, like I actually got through the day. It wasn't too bad, actually. And I feel like in those moments, you feel like there is no way that you're going to get through this. But I feel like if you allow yourself to feel it, you will come out on the other side happier than you thought you ever could be. And slowly but surely, those moments of happiness that you once thought you would never experience become more frequent. And the days of you crying and like laying in bed, just super sad, will become less frequent. So when you look back after 6 months of healing or a year after healing, you'll be like, I can't believe I was ever broken about this. But you know what? It takes time. And on top of time, there are other great ways to move forward, like going through experiences that you go through in life that make you feel happy, dates with people, having fun when you are ready, of course, hanging out with your friends, and just doing activities that brings you joy. Even just leaning into friendships or making new friendships. Like, if I know I'm going through something with a guy, I can message my best friend and tell her, like, look, I'm not okay right now, or I need some support. And she's been there for me. Or even chatting to my dad about things where I'm able to gain some perspective on a situation. So, like, leaning in towards the people that love you and that don't want to see you in pain really helps so much. Like, I'm someone that likes to handle my stuff on my own. I don't want to burden anyone with like what I'm going through, but sometimes it does become super overwhelming, and like you need people that actually love you to give you some perspective so that you stop spiraling. For example, if your ex-partner was someone that meant a lot to you and they were your go-to person to share everything with, like exciting moments or hard times, and you had them in your life to like really be there, but now you're no longer together and you find yourself struggling, well, like reach out to a friend or parent that is going to guide you through whatever you are feeling. The worst thing you can do for yourself, and I literally speak from experience, is constantly handling things on your own and letting your negative thoughts consume you. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, lean into your hobbies, your career, lean into you, and make it as rich as possible. Make your life as rich as possible. So like so good that you won't look back on the life that you had with that person. You'll be so satisfied with the life that you've created today that you won't want to look back as much anymore. So how do you deal with the feelings that you have when, that person has moved on with someone else? Oh my gosh. Well, this is such a tough one for sure. Like, I've actually had this happen to me before with the first guy that I was with, and it really was so hard because in the moment, it like just sucks. It was a particular painful experience because it was just hard. And he moved on pretty quickly. He got a girlfriend like a month or something. Well, I'm not sure like on the exact time frame, but pretty quickly after we ended things. And I remember seeing that and being just so overwhelmed with emotions and just questioning myself like was I even good enough for him? Or how is he so happy with someone else and not with me? Like what was wrong with me? And how was it so easy for him to move on? Meanwhile, I'm so destroyed over him. And it took me so much time to really get over him. And even though I feel like I wasn't that in love with him, it was still a hard experience because you do feel connected to someone when you spend a certain amount of time with them. So the things that you need to remember is that these experiences like force us to really go inward. And I know looking back to that time with him, I cringe, okay? I cringe at the embarrassing things that I did. I've looked back and been like, what was I thinking? How did I allow him also to like treat me like that? And, you know, how can someone say that they love you or were in love with you, but they treated you a certain way? And even with my most recent ex, I've thought to myself, did I mean anything to him? Why can't we make things work? And then you wake up one day and you're like, hey, don't chase something that is not meant for you. And it forced me to really focus on looking within and being like, hey, my self-esteem must be super low for me to accept what he's willing to give me because I know that I deserve better. And this isn't it, okay? And it sort of like frees you from those thoughts of feeling not good enough. And you just want to move on after that. So when an ex moves on with someone else, it is so difficult and it forces you to recognize your own flaws. And in both of my relationships, I've had to recognize that, you know what, I do have flaws. Some things were my fault. In my very first relationship, or shall we say situationship, as the kids call it today, okay, I was very immature because it was my first experience like in an adult relationship. Whereas he had experience being in relationships before. And, you know, we just didn't work out and would never work out because he has a tendency to be mean with words and I have a tendency to be offended and be overly, you know, sensitive. So to me, that's not worth it. So was I grateful that, you know, the guy moved on really quickly? Yes, because it forced me to look at my own flaws in that relationship. And it also helped me to move on and like close that chapter. Through both of those experiences I've had regarding heartbreak, it made me realize who I want to be as a girlfriend and partner. And it made me realize the kind of person I need too. I just realized so much about myself. I was able to identify things that I need to work on and also the things that I won't accept in a new relationship. And there is another silver lining when an ex moves on, which is a chance to better yourself for the next relationship because it forces you to move on. So sometimes you aren't the problem, but you will be able to learn from the experience in order to better clarify what you want next time. Like, sure, it sucks when they move on. It hurts. It feels like you just want to cry for days and like lay on the floor in like a fetal position and like not move. And you might realize that, you know, you aren't compatible anymore with your ex compared to their new person. And that sucks. But it also means that they aren't compatible with you compared to who you are. You're able to kind of see the things that you want in a relationship and in a partner. And it's those lessons from those painful experiences that allow us to grow as people and find what we really deserve. And of course, like, look, let's be real. It does suck when someone moves on and it's someone that you really like. But in the big picture, what's really cool and exciting is that you will eventually find someone that is really compatible with you and you will be so much happier. The next thing to remember is that your time will come. Like they may have found someone before you did, but everyone has a different timeline. You may find that one person that's for you, or you might date a few people before you find that one person that's compatible. And, we can all do like the mental gymnastics that we want and try to make ourselves better. But at the same time, at the end of the day, watching someone you loved move on really sucks. Okay. Like, don't rush yourself into anything that you're not ready for. Like, what I started doing is I started getting back out there again when I felt ready. Like, there comes a day when you've cried a lot and you are ready to like feel sexy and hot and desirable again. And you want to start moving on and you want to start getting excited again about a cute guy or what's next in your life. And it sounds like a distraction, and maybe it is, but it helps a lot in the moment to take your mind off your ex and to start letting go and close that chapter. Like, you have to take the time to obviously mourn the loss of a relationship that meant the world to you and feel those feelings and then actually start moving on for you. Like, it's time. I feel like confronting the hard truth about a situation helps a lot, being honest with yourself about where you're at, and then, looking at the situation and being like, you know what? Their loss. I know the type of person I am. I know what I deserve. And I'll wish you well, but just let me move on to better things. Okay? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching on YouTube. I love making these episodes for you. Definitely let me know your comments down below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and also subscribe. New podcast episodes every Wednesday. I love you. Have a great week. Peace.